Today on Season of War, Ridge's daughters of Khaine seek exaltation through ritual bloodshed, while Jordan's flesh-eater courts rally for war under the delusion of defending their lands. Morathi Khaine leads her Scath Coven, an army of Scathborn who gain strike first when they charge 8 or more inches. As a manifestation of her divine power, the Shadow Queen arrives to strike terror across the battlefield, while a Melusai iron scale bears the sevenfold shadow and acts as a zealous orator while commanding their forces. 2 reinforced units of Blood Sisters prepare for melee alongside skirmishing Khinnerai life-takers, while the saviors of Cinderfall have joined as a temporary ally for the fight. Across the battlefield, Ushoran, Mortarch of Delusion, assembles a knightly echelon, which grants an additional rend when cavalry units charge. An abhorrent Gore Warden carries the Grisly Pennant and enforces discipline as a cruel taskmaster, while an abhorrent Cardinal and Crypt Infernal Courtier also help support the knights. Filling out the force and preparing to charge atop their noble steeds are 12 Crypt Flayers, 9 Crypt Horrors, and 3 Morbeg Knights. These 2 forces will fight over the Noxious Nexus battle plan, which awards 5 points for the red objective, 3 for green, and 2 for blue. No scoring is permitted in the first battle round, though 10 points are scored at the end of the battle for holding the blue objective. With both armies ready to clash, let's head to the battlefield, for this is the season of war.
This video is brought to you by the support of our channel members and our FLGS partner, Warpfire Minis. Today's battle showcases beautiful thematic dice from Baron of Dice. Grab your own or get a custom set made at baronofdice.com.
All right, Ridge, I'm excited to be playing the new Flesh-Eater Courts here today. Shout out to the Game Wizard Workshop who did provide us early access to the Battle Tome so we could get the debut game out like this for you guys, so hope you enjoy it. But you're also playing the Daughters of Khaine for the first time in a while.
Yeah, I've played them last edition, but another one of those armies. First time playing them in 4th, and the Snake Ladies are usually pretty fun, pretty killy, so we'll see what happens.
Yes, and going through tactics, I chose Scouting Force, so the first step is to have 3 units outside of my territory. And then my second tactic was Master the Paths, and the first step is killing an enemy hero. So that's going to be hard with Morathi, but there's another one at least.
And for me, I also took Scouting Force, having a ton of different infantry. So again, having to get 3 scouting units wholly outside of my territory. And then my second one, I took the old Intercept and Recover. So just a fun one with a killy army. So you're gonna have to pick 3 units for me to kill.
Yeah, in this case, I'm gonna pick Ushoran and both my units of Flayer, my unit of Flayers and my unit of Horrors. So I'm kind of squishy, so you might have a good chance at them. Not like with KO.
Not play that again.
But then we were both 3 drops here, and I did win the roll-off to deploy first, so I have choice. And I'm of course gonna give away first turn, so we can jump into Daughters of Khaine turn 1.
Let's do it. Okay, so we'll start first with the couple spells from Morathi Khaine here. We're gonna first just try to cast Mind Razor, and we're gonna do that just to the unit of 10 snakes beside the big snake. We're gonna get that on a 9.
I'll try to unbind it with Ushoran. No, you got it.
All right, and then second spell, Morathi Khaine is gonna go for the Geminids. We're gonna get that on a 9 as well.
The unbind ties it, but does not beat it.
And then Callus and Toll are going to choose Ushoran as their mark unit, so they'll be +1 to wound against him in combat.
And I will spend a command point here with my priest to just go for some sacred rites. And he's going to generate 4 points. And I do get to pick a delusion to follow at the start of the game. I'm going to go for Ushoran's, which is +1 to charge and -1 to charge from you.
Sweet, sweet. I will jump into movement then. Okay, we're going to spend a CP to auto 6 Callus and Toll to get up with their companions.
I am going to spend a command point here to redeploy Ushoran for 3 inches.
Alrighty, so we have finished my first turn. Pretty boring, but yeah. Put Callus and Toll in the regiment in the middle on the point and essentially made a pseudo castle here, so hopefully you don't want to charge. I put the Geminids and Mind Razor on these snakes beside Marathi, so that if you come in that side, they will hurt you, and tried to screen the other side out. So pretty much that's it. I got the spells off I needed now. Let's hope I can do that in later turns. So I am going to get my scouting force, because I obviously have my 3 units just outside of my territory, which you can do nice in this mission. And we're not scoring turn 1. I did kind of move things up to kind of screen a little bit and yeah, see if you come into me and
into the castle,
play for the double, but I will just get the 5 points here.
All right, let's then, I guess, just jump into Flesh Eater Torts, turn 1. All right, starting off my turn, I am going to have my priest jump into the terrain piece, and then he's going to chant for excommunication onto Callus and Toll. I only roll a 1, so that's going to fail, and I will lose D3 points for 1, so down to 3. And then Usharan is going to try and cast Deranged Transformation onto my Flayers, and I'll get that off on a 9.
Yeah, I will try with Marathi. You do get it.
All right, so there'll be +2 to move and +1 to wound. And then he's going to try and cast Glimpse of Delusion on Callus, but that'll fail with a 6. And then let's see what I can do with the Delusion here. I did a 3, so that's going to let me do the same one that I had, which I'm just going to stick with the +1 to charge and -1 to charge. So then I'll just get into movement. And I am going to deep strike my Door Warden and the units with him, picking Toll's companions as my target. So I'll get to set up only 6 from them, but still 9 from everything else. And then because of the Carnal Throne, I am going to get a D6-inch movement, which I'm going to do with the Flayers. D6 because they deep struck this turn, otherwise it's normally D3. And into shooting, I am going to go with the Crypt Infernal Courtier first, and I'm going to spend a command point here for all out attack, putting his attacks into Callus and Toll. So 3s and 3s now for 2 damage.
Okay, 4 aboard. I take 1.
And because I allocated at least a single damage point to them, I will now be +1 to damage for my Flayers shooting at them. And then I'll put my first unit of Flayers all into them. 4s, so 6 damage.
6 damage, 4 aboard. I will take 4, so you are going to kill 1.
And then the second unit of Flayers is going to have to split its shots. The front 4 will go into Callus and or Toll, and then the back 2 into the companions. Into the hero.
All right, let's see if I can make the 4 boards. I make 4, so he takes 2.
And the 2 into the companions. So just 2 damage.
2 damage, 4 board, they take 2.
And that is all the shooting. So then I'm going to get into charges, and I guess I'm just going to start with Usharan for a 6.
So I'm obviously going for the counter charge with the Mind Razor Snakes. The Melusa Iron Scale does give me a reroll, so I'm looking for a 6 here. So let's just get it first try. We get the 6, I have to just take that, and we're gonna just move 6 inches.
And then the Door Warden is going to use his Grizzly Pennant on Toll's companions. And I roll a 1, so it's gonna have no effect. And then Usharan's gonna try and make the companions fight last. He does, and Callus or Toll also fights last. Then my unit of 6 horrors is going to get to do their Holy Blades of Bone ability. And I will do no mortal wounds to your witches or Sisters of Slaughter, but I will have the unit of 3 doing them into the Blood Sisters for 2 mortal wounds.
All right, now I have my combat abilities, so just praying for the Lord here. The snakes are gonna have to roll a 5+ because I have to roll over your health characteristic. So come on, girls, do it for me. Yes, we rolled a big 6, so the Flayers will be fighting last. And then because I rolled that big fight last, I'm gonna also go for, now in the combat phase, the CP fight twice on those Blood Sisters.
And then I'm gonna start off combat here with the Door Warden, and he's actually going to be able to put his attacks into those snakes. 2 damage.
2 damage, we got 6 up boards. We do kill a snake.
Next, the central unit of Blood Sisters takes down 2 crypt horrors, while the larger unit of horrors eviscerates the witch elves. As the fighting escalates, the Morbeg Knights take out a Blood Sister in Kinarai, suffering 3 damage in return. Then the horror brings down another Blood Sister.
Okay, so now we have the first activation from this Blood Sisters into the flayers beside Usharon. And these are the Mind Razor ones, so they're going to be rend 2. So let's see, we're going to be hitting on 3s. So that's going to be 30 damage.
All right, we got some ward saves. I will make 8 ward saves, so I have 1 flayer left with 2 wounds.
Nice.
The other unit of flayers then brings down one of the Blood Sisters, while Usharan finishes off Toll and one of his companions. The remaining companions then deal 5 wounds to the Gore Warden. The single flayer takes down another Blood Sister, and the sisters finish off the Gore Warden and flayer with their second activation.
Then at the end of the turn, my Morbeg Knights are going to get to do Predator Knight, their ability to basically do a power through and do 2 mortals to your combat snakes. And then I'm going to spend a command point to power through with Usharan and do some mortals to the companions for just 1. And that was Flesh Eater towards turn 1. Pretty casual. Yeah, obviously wanting to be aggressive. Doc is pretty squishy, so I was hoping to get a good blow into them, and I would have been really happy had you not made that big counter, or not big counter charge, but the counter charge double activation. Obviously really strong with Mind Razor, so a great combination of things. But it's not overly crippling to me. Obviously with the recursion of Flesh Eaters, it's getting in and fighting and having a lot of stuff mucking up is better for me in the long run, I think. So yeah, just try to push things forward. Shot. The shooting was amazing.
Crazy good.
With the deep striking, the move after deep striking. There's another way you can get extra movement there too in the future. But yeah, those things were nice. The shooting obviously really good, with the hero getting 1 damage through onto Callus and Toll, allowing me to then get 2 damage with all the flares into them. But I mean, I was still -1 hit, so could have been even better if it were into a different target. But
yeah, not many things can just laugh. Well, not laugh, because Toll's companions are there, but this is one of the strongest things in the game. Like, Savers of Cinderfall are ridiculous on a point.
And I really didn't allocate a lot of, like, I could have had, in theory, 12 flayers going into them as well, but obviously between stuff dying and diverting attacks went elsewhere. But
yeah.
And I will score 5 points just for Master of the Paths because I killed a hero. So it's going to be a tie going into round 2, Ridge. So then we can go into priority for round 2.
Yep.
That's a 1.
Roll the 4. Okie dokie, so I am going to, although things are tagged, I still need to take the turn to kill some things and not just have Marathi on the board. So we'll go into Daughters of Khaine, turn 2. All right, so to start it off, we're gonna try to Doomfire this single horror here. So let's go, Marathi Khaine on a +1. We are gonna fail that. It's on a 7, so that is only a 6. All right, then next we are gonna go for Marathi Khaine is going to try to cast Mind Razor onto the Shadow Queen. And we're gonna get that on a 12. And then lastly, we're just gonna go for the run and charge onto the Shadow Queen as well. We are going to get off on a 5 because it's cast on a 5 somehow.
I'll try to unbind it, and I do.
Okay.
And then I'm going to spend a command point for magical intervention with the Abhorrent Cardinal, just going for Sacred Rites. I'm +1, so I will just get 3 points. And then we'll see what I can do with the Delusion. It's on a 3, so I'm going to keep the same +1, -1 to charge.
Sweet, sweet. I will just jump into movement then. All right, that will be my movement phase. So I do have a bunch of shooting here. Okay, so Melusai Iron Scale is gonna put both shots into this last single horror, see if we can kill it. 3s and 3s.
Goes through.
D3 damage for 2.
You take it down.
Kill the horror. Marathi will shoot into the Morbegs. 6 damage, okay.
Wards, we'll save 2, take 4.
All right, so we're gonna start the charging with Morathi. She needs a 7 here because I'm +1, -1. So let's just pray to the gods and roll 7. We roll exactly a 7. Okay, so that's gonna be all the charges. We will go to combat phase abilities. I will go with Morathi Khaine first, or the Shadow Queen is going to roll her 3 up. Yep, 3 mortal wounds to the horrors.
They'll take 1.
So the spear snakes will have their, if I roll the 5 up again against the flayers, they'll be strike last. Nope. So first the Iron Scale is going to fight into the flayers. So let's see what she can do. So we're looking at 3s and 4s. Okay, so just the 2 mortal wounds. And then that is going to activate the spear snakes. So we are going to go for the all attack here and put everything from the spear snakes into the flayers. So we're looking at 2s. So that will be 7 at rend 1.
They all go through, so we're going down.
The horrors on the right flank then deal 3 wounds to the Shadow Queen and take down a Khinnerai, while Toll's companions finish off the last flayer, and the Shadow Queen slays 3 of the horrors.
Okay, so after the turn, we did a bunch of stuff. Heartrender continued to whiff, but the spear snakes, we saw here, you get the extra attacks on them. That's where all the damage comes from. So awesome play with being able to get the Iron Scale in and then bring her in. So yeah, I'm gonna score the middle and the red again for the 8 points there. I guess this is the first point of scoring, sorry, we're only in turn 2. So for this turn, I will score 8 for primary, but I am gonna get my 2nd level of Scouting Force because I control this point, the terrain feature over here, which is in Jordan's territory, and the objective in the middle, which is in Jordan's territory, with my little doggo. Who did start on the battlefield, so he will be a scouting unit as well. And I would get an extra 5 actually for killing your treasure unit act as well, so I'll score 18 for the round.
Nice, and I guess then we're gonna have to answer and jump into Flesh Eater Courts, turn 2. All right, I'm gonna start here by having Usharan try to cast the Cadaverous Barricade, and I will summon it on a 10.
Nice, you got it.
And then he's going to try and summon the Chalice of Usharan, which he'll fail on a 5. And then the Abhorrent Cardinal is going to try and just bank ritual points, which he will get 6, so up to 12. And then let's see what happens with the Delusion. I'll get a 5, and I'm going to change it to the +1 hit on the charge. And that's it for my hero phase.
Yep, so I am going to go for the rally here, getting the extra 3 dice. So I'll rally the ones behind the Shadow Queen here. And we're gonna get 2 back.
And then I'll jump into movement. And then I'm gonna spend a command point to bring back 3 flayers. They're gonna come down outside of a board edge, but I'll be able to use their ability to teleport to a hero. So they're gonna do that and come outside of this guy.
Nice.
And because they came down near their courtier, they will get to move D3 after, for 3. And my Cardinal Throne is then going to get to move them D6 as well because they were set up this turn for 5. All right, into shooting, we're going to have the Crypt Infernal Courtier target Morathi for 1 damage.
So we're good?
All right, and then the Crypt Flayers are going to target her as well.
So 6s, take 2.
And then into charges, and we'll go with Usharan first for a 12.
All right, so I don't see why I wouldn't go for the counter charge here with the big Shadow Queen. So let's see what we get. We roll a big 7 +1, so that'll be an 8.
And then we're gonna do Usharan's ability to try and give out strikes last. So to Morathi Khaine, yes, she will strike last. The snakes will also, and to the companions, they will be striking last as well.
Okay, so for combat phase abilities I have, first Morathi Khaine is going to do D3 to them, and it's going to roll a bat 1, so nothing. And then we will try for the 5 up to make the Morbeg Knights strike last, which we will also fail.
All right, then we'll activate the Morbegs first, and put all their attacks into your Iron Scale. 4 damage so far, and then the mounts. So 8 damage there.
8 damage, okay. So she is dead.
The Shadow Queen quickly avenges the Melusai by slaying the Morbeg Knights, while the Infernal Courtier and Flayers destroy the Geminides of Ulgish.
And then I'm going to activate Usharan, and I'm going to spend the CP for all-out attack, putting everything into the snakes. 12 plus 5, so 17 damage so far. So that's going to be 31 damage to the snakes.
Targeting Usharan, Toll's last companion, and Marathi Khaine deal a total of 5 wounds to the Mortarch.
And then at the end of the turn, I am going to spend a command point to power through with Usharan onto Little Marathi, dealing 2 mortal wounds.
2 big 6s here. You got the wounds.
All right, so at the end of the turn, I am going to hold 2 objectives here, Ridge, to store 5 points on primary. And I do get a battle tactic, the second step of Master of the Paths, because I have more units in neutral territory than you do. So that's going to give me a 10-point turn. And I potentially had a shot at starting force, but once you killed the Morbegs, that was out of the question. So yeah, we did what we could. Obviously, we were on the back foot here a little bit, but we did a decent job at answering. Positioning, with you having 3 units that I kind of have to worry about, was just kind of awkward getting into the things I wanted to, but I can't be anything but content with coming away with that. 3 wounds on Marathi, took out a big unit of snakes. Would have loved to like split that damage between 2 units of snakes, but obviously couldn't get to the other one.
Yep.
But I will send us into priority for round 3.
Yes, sir.
That's a 3.
And I roll a 6. Yeah, we just got to kill Usharan here and put the big Shadow Queen in the spot she wants to be. So we'll go into Daughters of Khaine, turn 3. First thing we're going to cast, it's going to be Mind Razor. And that is going to fail on a 7. We will then go for the run and charge from the Marathi Khaine, which that will go off on a 7.
Try to unbind it. No, you got it.
Okay, so run charge on the spear snakes. We will then rally them. No extras because you killed my iron scale, but I still will get the 2 back. And lastly, we will go for we'll just go for the Doom Fire on Usharan, which is going to go off on a 12. So he's just going to take 2 mortal wounds.
And he will ward them both.
Perfect.
Then I'm going to spend a command point to try and summon the Chalice of Usharan with Usharan. And he will on a 10.
Nice. You got it.
If you're within 6, you don't get crit effects. And I will spend a command point to rally my horrors, but not get any back.
Womp womp. Sounds good. We will just go into movement then. All right, Marathi will shoot into Usharan. Hits, wounds, Ren 2.
That'll go through.
All right, D6 for 4.
I'll ward 1, take 3, up to 8 taken.
Right, that's it for shooting. So we will go into charges. We will first charge with the Shadow Queen. She's only gonna roll a 5. All right, so the Shadow Queen will do bad D3 to Usharan for 2 mortals.
I will ward 1, take 1.
So we're gonna do 4 spear snakes into the Flayer hero and 6 spear snakes into Usharan. So here are the 4 into the Flayer hero. That is just gonna be 4 mortal wounds.
We'll ward 1.
And then the other ones into Usharan are gonna be just 3, rend 1 into Usharan.
Save 1.
4 damage.
Wards. We'll ward 3, take 1. And Usharan is going to spend a command point here and go for all of attack, put all his attacks into the combat snakes. 18, 19, 20 damage with the scepter.
Okay.
And then the talons. So 24 damage.
24 damage, so we need to make 5. I do not, I take 20 and they die. Okay, that was a good job by the spear snakes.
Toll's companions then deal 2 more damage to the Crypt Infernal Courtier, and Marathi Khaine deals 3 to the Flayers, though the Flesh Eater units inflict 3 wounds on the upstart god.
All right, well, There's one thing that needs to happen here. Okay, the moment we've all been waiting for. The snakes could not do it, so they need the mama snake to do it. We'll start with heart render. We're gonna be 2s and 3s because it's round 3. So 2s. There won't be any weapon effects, or that would be 9 mortals right there. So we will put 5 through at Rend 2.
And I won't have a save because I did all out attack. Yeah, I will ward 6, but I still go down. He did his job though. Kill all the combat snakes.
Okay, and I am gonna go for the power through here. I really wish I could do it to the hero, but I have to do it to the flayers. So they are going to take 2 mortal wounds.
From Little Marathi. Oh, yeah, that will take one out.
Does kill one, exactly. All right, we got there finally. Now, moral of the story, when you wound on 4s and you're only 1 rend, sometimes you won't do the damage you want to do. I was thinking that the spear snakes were definitely going to kill Usharon as long as I stayed outside 3. He couldn't strike last me, put everything into him. And I split a little bit. It didn't happen. I wasn't able to take him down. So I don't know. But Mind Razor and not Mind Razor is such a crazy difference of the damage in the +1 rend. It's insane. So, but we got it done at the end of the day. The Shadow Queen bailed us out. Now, a couple interactions here happened as well where I'm now at risk of dying because Little Marathi took
3 wounds.
Yes, so I could have stayed a bit safer with her. And I wanted to just tie you up so you didn't get to pick where you were going, which is still going to be good here. I didn't do full 2 mortals, that would have left 1 more guy, which would have tied both of them up, which would have been great. Now I powered through to safety into the woods, but yeah, you're going to be able to bring a unit back because there's nothing I could do about the little hero in the terrain.
Yes.
So I will score big here still, like I'm gonna get 5, 8, 10 for primary, plus I will get the last level of scouting force from taking that forest in your thing, so that's 15, and then I did get a treasure for killing Usharon, so I will get 20 points here.
Yeah, big lead, but you've left the door open because I was able to take out the combat snakes, so we're not out of it yet, and we'll jump into Flesh Eater Torts, turn 3. All right, the time has come for our abhorrent cardinal to try and chant excommunication onto the Shadow Queen. We'll get that on a 17, so she can't get positive save modifiers and does not get her ward saves. And then I'm going to spend a command point to rally my horrors, but we don't get any back. And to see what my delusion is, on a 4, I have to pick the same one, so it's going to be +1 hit on the charge. And then I'll jump into movement, and I'll spend my last command point to summon 2 Morbag Knights. And because of the throne, I'll give them a d6 move for 2 inches. And then we're going to get into shooting. My hero has to shoot into the companions, and he'll completely miss.
Okay.
Then the Flayer's going to shoot into the Shadow Queen. That'll be 2 at Rend 2.
No ward, no anything. 6s? No.
So she's got 1 wound left. And then I'm going to get into charges, and I'll go with the Morbag Knights. And get a 10.
Nice. Marathi will just do, or the Shadow Queen will just do her combat phase ability for 2 mortal wounds to the Flayer.
And I will take 2, and then I'm going to activate the Morbag Knights first, obviously putting all their attacks into the Shadow Queen. So the Riders, nothing.
Uh-oh.
And the Mounts, that'll be 1 at Rend 1.
So you're telling me I need a 5-up? Oh!
4, 2 wounds, and you had no ward save, so she goes down.
5-up would have survived there.
With both armies' generals slain, the remaining forces battle for the objectives, with the Crypt Haunter Courtier and a unit of Kinnerai both going down.
And that'll wrap up my turn with Flesh Eaters, and it wasn't glamorous, but we did what we needed to do.
Yeah.
Here, again, yeah, just going for the kill on the Shadow Queen. Now, I am only to score 8 points here on primary, no battle tactics. I could have set up and tried to do the first level of scouting force finally, if I had gone for Little Marathi, but just the Shadow Queen in her position was just easier to go for. I could surround her, bring stuff back. And yeah, it just felt like the more reliable option, and I couldn't risk not doing that. So that's the thing we were going for, and we were just banking on now winning priority because I'm down quite a bit.
Yeah, there's a world that Shadow Queen almost survived.
She
with
did
that
almost
one last
survive,
roll.
yeah.
If she would have rolled a 5 up, she could have possibly survived. But
Yeah, it was a big risk of me to go for the rally on the horrors. Obviously, in hindsight, it didn't need it, but could have been big. So fingers or blessed that it didn't end up biting me in the butt. But
yeah,
we can go for the priority for round 4.
We tie, so I obviously have to keep priority here and see what I can do with it. It's going to be tight, so we're going into turn 4 for Daughters of Khaine. So I don't have much to do. We're going to obviously just spend 1 for the rally. We're going to rally the Khaine and try to bring 1 back. We do.
And I am also going to spend a command point to rally, this time with the flares. And I will bring 1 back.
Oh, it's big.
And then let's see the delusion. I have the choice, but I don't really have many options, so I'm just going to do the +1 hit on the charge. And then I will spend a CP for Magical Intervention and try and chant for Charnel Conviction onto the Morbag Knights, which I will get off on a 4 because I'm +1, and that's going to give them a 5-up ward save.
All right, so I am going to just do the auto 6 with the Khaine, and we're going to run them all into this middle point. So that's it for movement. All right, we will charge the companions for 8. That's it. I'm gonna just then pile in with them.
And it will go for an all-out defense.
All right, we're looking at, I guess I might as well do all attack as well. Just 1. So we're not killing 1.
And I will save it.
Cool.
Teaming up, the Morbeg Knights and Flayers bring down a companion and leave the other with 1 wound remaining.
Oh no, the Morbeg Knight ability!
And then at the end of the turn, I am going to do the Morbeg Knight, basically run away on, do 3 mortal wounds.
Do you need to have something in combat there?
Yeah. And they're going to scamper over to this objective.
Yikes. And he dies. Wow, okay, well, I clearly forgot about the Morbeg Knight's new ability. They can move at the end of the turn. Now, somehow Toll's Companion survived there. I put them in there just to die because they clearly should die to all that.
Well, I'm
and
not on the
just
charge,
hoping,
so.
Yeah, I guess. But just all those attacks not going through. Now, I was either doing that or just putting everything in and trying to kill you. In my head, I'm like, this is a play that I can score 5 and then deny you from getting tactics. But yeah, that did not turn out to be what happened. So
it's going to be interesting. So you have a big lead right now, and you do store 3 points.
Yeah, I'll still
so you're going to be
3.
up 23 right now. And yeah, we can just head into Fleshier Torts, turn 4. All right, in my hero phase, I am going to chant for the Summer King's favor onto the Flayers. We'll get that off with the +1 on a 5. It'll just give them the +1 damage here. And I am going to spend a command point to rally them again. We do get 1 back. And then I'll get into movement, and I am going to spend a command point to bring back 2 Flayers from the other unit. Sorry, I mean 3. And they will get to move D6 inches for 4. And we are going to get into shooting, and we'll start off with the 3 Flayers on the objective. And 1 wound at Ren 2, so 1 damage.
Yep, take it.
And then the other unit, so 5 damage.
Take 3.
And then we'll get into charges with the Morbeg Knights first. We get it on a 5. And because we chanted for the Summer King's favor on 3 of the Flayers, we're going to try and give them the glory. That'll be 4 at Rend 1 for 2 damage each.
So 6 damage. You do 5, and there's 1 with 1 wound. Who's going to fight you? It doesn't matter who I fight. 2 at Rend, whatever. I'm just waiting to do this so I can
1
do
damage.
the D6 move. For 1, yay! He just sits there and worries about his life.
Yeah, and the Morbeg Knights will finish him off. Well, Ridge, I think that was a bit of an unexpected ending after I lost Prio on turn 3.
Very much so. I made I guess a blunder of thinking the spear snakes were going to be able to kill Usharon, which just didn't even come close. It's just winning on force. Yeah, that plus I guess I could have put them into the other thing and just hoped that Marathi killed them. I'm just so used to if you kill Usharon, the army just crumbles and you win. Usually in last edition, and like if you can kill him, usually it's over. But the amount of recursion and just me overthinking not playing Doc, like as soon as Marathi goes down, it's like you think you're safe and you have all these plays.
Doc is so fragile too, as we saw. Like you said, Usharon living was the turning point of being able to hit those snakes and open up the door.
I just always forget when they all go in. I stayed outside of 3. I'm like, oh, it's going to be enough attacks. Like, but it's just rend 1 and wounding on 4s is just always. I guess until turn 4 where they get
5
plus
aboard
1
on
wound.
Usharon.
Yeah, and just I don't know. So yeah, I botched that one. But I think maybe if I would have made that play and killed the 3 flayers and then with the snake stayed outside of Usharon, and then just even if Marathi didn't kill Usharon, I'm in combat and sitting over there with them. Obviously, in hindsight, that was the play, but I haven't played Doc for a long time, and like you said, yeah, it's just there's a complex to Marathi where like you think that you have a bunch on the board killing and you're doing really well and you got all this, but you got to remember that like it only
she's
takes
1 turn away. Yeah.
Yes, from then just 740 or whatever points being gone. And even at the end, could have made a little bit of a play of going for the Kinra to try to pin you with that. But for some reason, I just thought if I was able to just get the 5 points, I'd be able to deny you. But no, the resiliency, well, it's showing the new just CP to bring back a unit. Because you couldn't get 6 RDP like that in all those 3 turns in a row.
No,
like
for sure.
edition.
Definitely more reliable getting stuff out.
Oh my God, yeah. And then just bringing back those units. Huge in this battle plan as well, which is normally just you kill the opponent and you win.
Yeah.
And
yeah, I do love the effect changes at kind of first glance over the book. Obviously still getting a handle on it and exploring it, but very fast, very aggressive, as we saw here. Getting the movement out of Deep Strike multiple ways was really cool. Again, just getting some extra speed, getting to continually throw stuff in and in. It was fast-paced and fun, and that's what I like.
Yeah, it's kind of nuts how they can just be everywhere now. Like that ability to just swarm and take over and then come back still around the board.
Access to deep strikes with the one hero and teleports, even with the flayers on their own. So yeah, definitely very mobile.
The hero is still super important, obviously, and just the dude in the throne pretty much won you the game. He's just sitting back there as he does, doing his little prayer here and there, and then just bringing back 3 dudes.
Yeah.
It's the other thing. If I killed this bat hero in Usharon, I'm like, okay, it's no heroes, no summons. That dude's in the throne, just sitting there, bringing units back.
Yeah, and here, that's all it was about. But just to quickly wrap it up, I would get 10 on primary here. I actually wouldn't get a battle tactic because these guys failed their charge, and 3 of my flayers weren't on the board at the start, so it would just be 10 points on primary. But then I get another 10 next turn. I'd be able to do the first step of scouting force to make it 15, and there's 10 points at the end of the game for this blue objective because there was no scoring for primary turn 1.
Yes.
So after your turn 4, I was down 23, but it ended the game up with Flesh Eaters up by 12. It's pretty wild.
Yeah, it is. Well, this mission is just so much. When we've played it so far, it's always just like destroy your opponent. So if you have recursion and you can outlast, which most armies can against Doc, especially with Marathi.
Yep.
Obviously not witch builds, but when you're playing snakes with Marathi, if you can outlast them and then at the end score plus, because that big 10, like if you didn't have if there was no rule for 10 at the end, you'd have won by 2.
2, yeah.
Which is, then some other plays. Yeah, this mission is wild. It's usually just smash.
Yeah.
But
yeah, that'll wrap things up though. Fun first game with the Flesh Eater Courts. Ended up being a wild one in the end, where it was looking like it was going to be a rough time. But the heroes of the day came back, and now they get to feast.
The delusional heroes that maybe weren't delusional because they did come back.
Yeah. And don't forget, if you want to get an extra battle report every week, you can do so by joining our channel membership. It's also the best way to support the channel and make sure we can keep creating content. But no matter what, we appreciate you watching, and we look forward to seeing you in another battle report.
Have a good week.